Well, hello, everybody. Can you hear me, squatties? Can you hear me? Welcome, 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 everybody. Let me get a thumbs up. Let me know that you can hear me. Special K Thoughts in the house here on a lovely Friday night. Welcome to Late Night Success Talk with Special K Thoughts. Welcome, SS family. Let me know who you be. Let me know where you are from. Let me know where you are at. What country, state, or city you are from. We are an international squad, near, far, and wide on all sides of the globe. I see we have the usual suspects in the house. Colorado Springs is in the house. Texas is in the house. It's Friday night. Okay, I see Florida is in the house. Detroit is in the house. Salt Lake City is in the house. Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas is in the house. Somebody else from Texas is in the house. Yay. Oh no, somebody is from Charleston, South Carolina. What up? Area code 843. Yes, indeed. Atlanta, Georgia is in the house. ATL. Brooklyn is in the house. We got to have Brooklyn in the house, don't we? Absolutely. Yes. California is in the house. Welcome, Cali. Welcome. Washington, D.C. is in the house. Yes. Canada. Welcome, Canada. Welcome. Washington State is in the house. Absolutely. So we got Washington State, we got Washington, D.C., we got Maryland in the house. I hope you guys have your drinks. It doesn't necessarily have to be an adult beverage. I mean, it can be water, it can be tea, it can be Pepsi, Diet Coke, whatever your flavor is. Harlem, New York is in the house. Southern Cali is in the house. Yes. I knew Southern California very well, even though I was raised in Central California, but I know Southern California very well. Squatties, how you guys doing? How you guys feeling? We're going to give a little bit more time before we start this late night success talk with special K thoughts. I know that there are more squatties that are going to join us so we can talk about our faves. Yes, always hydrating and hydrated. Absolutely. Joan says that she just had her tea. God bless you, Joan. Lydia, are you feeling great? You know what? I'm in a good mood. Special K Thoughts is in a good mood tonight. And maybe because it's almost Christmas, you know? Maybe it's because 2021 is almost over. I mean, can you guys believe that this year is almost over? I mean, I can't believe that 21 is almost over. I mean, it feels like it was just Valentine's Day not too long ago. You know what I mean? But good evening, everybody. Good evening, Success Squad. We are in the house. We're up to 87 in the chat room. So, those of you who are here on time, welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll give people about one more minute and we will go ahead and start this live podcast talking about our faves, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Has and Megs, Prince Harry and Meghan. Those are our faves. They didn't have a lot of noise this past week, but there's enough to talk about them for this live podcast. And of course, we're going to have some fun as we always do, right? Because, it doesn't always have to be doom and gloom because, our faves, they're doing a lot of good work. They're putting a lot of good energy out there, right? They're doing a lot of good things. So, of course, we should focus on that as well. All right, a couple of more seconds to have more people join this live podcast of Late Night Success Talk with Special K Thoughts. Hello, Adrian Barros. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Church Nelly, welcome. Sherry Ware, welcome. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, let's get into it. Let's have a conversation. Let's have some success family time about our faves. Okay, this is success family time. All right, we're having conversations and we're uplifting our faves. And what I wanted to talk about during this live podcast of Late Night Success Talk is, I wanted to start this conversation off, this family time, the success family time off. I wanted to talk about the Time Magazine's Year in Review Special Edition. All right. Not too many of us in the Success Squad have talked a lot, about this article in the Time Magazine's Year in Review Special Edition. Okay, so we're going to talk about this article that was written, and I thought it was a good article. And to see our faves, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, on the cover, they're one of many people that are featured, people and events that are featured on the cover of this special Time edition, the Year in Review. They are on the cover looking handsome and gorgeous. And also featured on the cover is President Joe Biden, Joseph Biden of the United States. And of course, our VP, Kamala Harris. And there's Simone Biles on the cover. And of course, they have a picture. I believe that is a picture of the flooding that happened in the different states across the United States. And let's see, there's a picture of course, one of the COVID-19 vaccines. And looks like there's a picture in the bottom right corner of the withdrawal from Afghanistan. So, like I was saying earlier in this podcast, I'm kind of done with 2021. What about you guys? Are you kind of done with 2021? I kind of am. I'm kind of ready to move on and see if 2022 will be a better year. But those of you who have recently joined this live podcast, late night sexist talk with Special K thoughts, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going. Yeah, I'm kind of done. I'm kind of done with 2021, and I am ready for 2022. But like I was saying, those of you who have just joined our live podcast, late night sexist talk with Special K thoughts, we are going to start this lovely live podcast about the special time edition that features an article about our faves, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Has and Megs. They are on the cover. And like I was saying, I read this article twice, and I want to talk to you guys about this article. Now, those of you out there in the live chat, have you read this article about Harry and Meghan in this special time edition? Anybody in the chat, have you read this article? I thought it was a good article. And if you look at this article, right? Um, the story, like I said, it's about the Duke and Duchess, and it's featured on page 52. And the title is Racism Drove Us from the Royal Family. Okay. I mean, it's like bam, in your face, big, bright red letters. Okay. And the subtitle, and I quote, says, that was the core message of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's world shaking interview with Oprah Winfrey. Now, like I said, Success Family, I read this story twice. And, it's a no frills, no new information. It's not a gotcha type of article. It appears to be an objective article to me. There's no slide, no, slide comments or anything like that. The writers basically stuck to the facts of what was said in the interview. Okay. Now, this article points out that yes, the Duke and Duchess believe that they were driven from the royal family because of racism, right? I mean, we all know that. That's one of the reasons. Well, if not the reason why they were driven from the royal family was because of racism. They didn't have any support, right? Um, One of the explicit, most shocking allegations in this article is that, a member of the royal family came to Harry while Meghan was pregnant with their son Archie. And we all know the story. We all know the story. This family member had concerns and conversations about how dark Archie's skin might be when he was born. And of course, the article goes on to say that Meghan, she's American and she identifies as biracial. But this article goes on to say that it was implicit throughout their account of why they fled royal life. Right. And, again, I know many of us in the Success Squad family saw the interview. We saw the interview. Right. So the article goes on to point out that, Meghan said that she was shocked to learn that Archie, the first mixed race great grandchild of Queen Elizabeth II, would not be given the title of prince and would also be denied security protection, something that concerned Markle given the racist harassment she and her family have received since becoming a royal. All right. Now, Meghan, interview, and we all know she refuted the widely reported belief that it was she and Harry who didn't want their son to have a title. Remember all those articles that were out there saying that Prince Harry and Meghan did not want Archie to have a title? Remember those articles that were out there? I mean, there were so many articles written saying that Prince Harry and Meghan did not want Archie to have a title. Well, Meghan refuted that during the interview, right? So, Meghan said in the interview she wasn't concerned about whether her son would be called Prince, but was worried for his safety. And she said he wasn't going to receive security. She said, and I quote, "If you're saying the title is what's going to affect the protection, our son needs to be safe." Okay. Now, remember when Meghan was talking about the titles, which I'm pretty sure everybody in Success Squad knows, right? Many of us in the Success Squad land knows. Now, for clarity purposes, right, Success Squad, you know, um, let's really dissect what Meghan said because she was called a liar through and through and through in regards to this interview about the titles that she didn't know what she was talking about when it came to the titles. She was confused. She didn't know what she was saying. She doesn't understand, right? How the royal titles work when it comes to great grandchildren of the monarch, right? They were saying that Archie's not entitled to a title because he is the great grandchild of the monarch. But that's not what Meghan said, right? We all know what Meghan said, okay? And this article in the Time, in the special edition of the Year in Review in Time magazine, I mean, it briefly speaks on it, but you know how we do, Success Squad. You know how we do. We're going to talk about exactly, right, what Meghan said. Okay, so let me pull this up real quick. Meghan discuss the. Let's see, we're up to 132 in the chat, so that's awesome. How's everybody doing tonight? I see more people have joined us. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What's going on? Let's see. All right. So here we go. I had this thing pulled up and then I lost it. I am so sorry, squatties. Let's see. All right, here we go. Back to the program. Now, like I said, this special edition of Time Magazine Year Review, right, in regards to the titles, Meghan, they point out how Meghan refuted, saying that her and Harry never said they did not want Archie to have a title. She refuted that. But she was also saying how there were discussions that Archie was not going to get a title. And because of that, he wasn't going to have security. And she had concerns about that, about him not having security, because they were concerned about his safety because of all the racist attacks. And remember, everybody, all the haters, I should say, was saying that Meghan was lying or she was confused or she didn't understand how titles work because Archie is the great grandchild of Queen Elizabeth, and great grandchildren are not entitled to have titles. Well, Meghan was saying that they weren't talking about Archie having a title now. They were talking about, they were saying, well, the institution, I should say, was having discussions with her and Harry already about changing the convention, right? So when Prince Charles becomes king, that they were not going to give Archie a title. Now, this is what Meghan actually said, and I quote, even with that convention I'm talking about, while I was pregnant, they said they wanted to change the convention for Archie. Well, why? Meghan said. She said she was never given an answer. Okay. So, like I was saying, in this Times article, they briefly talk about that, but I wanted to make sure that we have clarity in regards to actually what Meghan was saying. Okay. Now, we all know in this interview, that Oprah pressed and she wanted to know who was the person that was having these discussions, right? About how dark Archie's skin tone was going to be, how Archie wasn't going to have a title once Prince Charles became king, right? Archie wasn't going to have no security. So, this New York Times article, the special edition year in review, points out when Oprah pressed on which member of the royal family asked about Archie's skin color, both Markle and Harry, I don't like calling her Markle, but both Meghan and Harry declined to give specifics. Okay. Now, this is in regards to Harry. That conversation I am never going to share, Harry said. At the time, it was awkward. I was a bit shocked. Now, the reason why I point this out is because you hear a lot of the haters out there talk about, well, it's not, it's normal for grandparents or family members to be curious about what newborn babies are going to look like, right? All that chatter that's out there, saying that Meghan is making this about race and whoever this family member was that was concerned about how dark Archie's skin tone would be. Well, Megan's making it about race and she's making it into a negative thing that a lot of people, have these discussions and they're just curious. They just want to know, is the baby going to have red hair? Is the baby going to have black hair? Is the baby going to have blue eyes? Is the baby going to have big ears? Like these are conversations that people always have. Well, this is the way I look at it, right? Prince Harry specifically said, that conversation I am never going to share. Okay. Now, if this was a conversation about how curious people were in regards to how Archie was going to look, right? Why wouldn't it be a conversation that Harry doesn't want to share? How come Harry doesn't want to share this conversation? I mean, if it was a conversation of joy and excitement and curiosity, then I would imagine that Prince Harry would want to share this conversation, right? And he went on to say at the time it was awkward. Why would a conversation about curiosity, about joy and excitement of a newborn baby be awkward, right? Like, why would that conversation be awkward? That makes absolutely no sense. So, this special edition of Time magazine year in review, they point that out. This article goes on to say Meghan also has been subject to relentless and often blatantly racist tabloid coverage by the British media, a discomforting parallel to the rabid media interest in Harry's mother, the late Princess Diana. Now, let's really pay attention to these adjectives that these writers use to describe the British media, the British press. Okay. Meghan has also been subject to relentless and often blatantly racist tabloid coverage by the British media. Okay. Oprah Winfrey did not write this article, people. Okay. Oprah Winfrey did not write this article. Okay. And this is featured in Time Magazine's Year in Review Special Edition. And they're using adjectives like racist, blatantly, and rabid, describing the British press's coverage of Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. I mean, in my opinion, that's huge. All right. I mean, that's a dagger. That's shots fired, in my opinion, in regards to how others in the media world feel how the British press is covering Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. All right. Now, for those of you who are just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Now, we're going to go on in regards to this article that was written in the Time magazine. Let's see. I almost lost my place. We're going to talk about how in this article they also focused in on how Meghan was having suicidal thoughts and how the royal family was negligent and how they neglected her getting her mental health. Okay. Now, another shocking, I mean, and this allegation was shocking, okay, was, Meghan saying in the interview how, she reached out to the institution. She felt like she needed to go somewhere, be placed somewhere to get mental health treatment because she was having suicidal thoughts. Now, the writers in this Time magazine special edition year in review, they talk about that as well. Okay. It says, I just didn't want to be alive anymore. Markle revealed, not Markle, Meghan, right? Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, revealed that she began having suicidal thoughts while she was pregnant with Archie in early 2019. And I quote, I just didn't want to be alive anymore, she said. And that was very clear and real and frightening, constant thought. Okay. When she approached royal staff for help with her mental health, she was refused. Okay. She was refused, right? That's what Meghan said. Now, to be more thorough in regards to what Meghan actually said, all right. Meghan said, I went to the institution and I said that I needed to go somewhere to get help. I said, I never felt this way before and I need to go somewhere. I was told that I couldn't, that it wouldn't be good for the institution. Okay, that's what she said. And then she went on to say, after that conversation, she went to human resources asking for assistance. And in that interview, Meghan said, and I quote, I remember this conversation like it was yesterday because they said, my heart goes out to you because I see how bad it is. But there is nothing we can do to protect you because you are not a paid employee of the institution. Okay. And then we all know in the Oprah interview, Meghan went on to say, this wasn't a choice. This was emails and begging for help, saying very specifically, I am concerned for my mental welfare. And people going, yes, yes, is disproportionately terrible to what we see out there to anyone else, but nothing was ever done, end quote. Meghan stated she also asked to be released to seek help from medical professionals, but was told not to. All right. And then we all know that Meghan eventually got help from one of Princess Diana's best friends, who is a psychotherapist. She didn't name this person's name, but many people believe that it was Julia Samuels, who is a psychotherapist. All right. Now, what I love about this article is that, they point out how Meghan was neglected. Her mental health was neglected. She was refused mental health treatment while she was pregnant with Archie, right? While she was pregnant with Archie, she was begging for mental health treatment, and she was told no because it was not going to be a good look for the institution. Now, there's two parts to what Meghan said, all right, and what the this article in the special edition of Time magazine says. Okay, number one, she went to a senior staff in the institution. She didn't name who that senior staff person was, but she went to a senior staff person in the institution. I wonder who that person was. Does anybody ever wonder who that person was? And do you think we're ever going to find out who this senior staff royal person was, who this royal senior staff was? Like, who do you think it was? Any suggestions? I mean, I know we don't really know too many people by name who work in the rural household who are quote unquote senior staff people, but who is the black guy, right? That's supposed to be this high ranking senior staff person that they purposely hired, and he was supposed to be Megan's mentor because I guess because he was black. Like, who is that brother? Right. Sometimes I wonder, did she go to him? Right. It's like, who is this person? Right. I mean, it would be awesome to find out who that person is. Somebody said Judas. I don't think it's Knopf. I think it's somebody else. Okay. I really, really do. And I'm telling you, sooner or later, we're going to find out who that asshole is. It's like, how can you tell a pregnant woman who is telling you that she needs mental health treatment, that she has suicidal thoughts, and you tell her no, the institution is more important than you and your unborn royal baby? Like, who was that son of a bitch? Like, seriously, we got to find out who that person is. Okay? We got to find out who this motherfucker is, right? Who? Who is it? We got to find out, Sexy Squad. We got to find out who this person is because they're getting off scot free. They are getting off scot free. You told a pregnant woman, okay, who was a member of the royal family, who's carrying a royal baby, no, you cannot get mental health treatment because it would look bad on the institution. Okay. The institution is more important than you, a senior royal, and your royal baby. Remember last week when we were saying who's more ruthless? We were asking that question. Who is more ruthless? The royal family or the mafia? Remember we were discussing that? It's like we got to find out who that person is. You understand what I'm saying? We got to find out who that person is. What would give them the authority to tell a senior royal member that they cannot get mental health treatment? Who would give that person that type of authority? Okay. And it's amazing to me that you have all these people who are expert rural reporters, who are, they write all these rural biographies, but none of them know who this senior rural staff member is that told Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, who was pregnant at the time, that she could not get mental health treatment. She could not go get placed somewhere to seek outside treatment. right? No, nobody can find out who this person is. Nobody. Now we all know that's a bunch of bullshit right there, right? Now, another thing I want to focus on, right? And I'm sorry, the Times article special edition points out Meghan sent emails to the Human Resources Department. She sent emails, people. She sent emails. And I know this is not new information for us, but for people who read Time magazine, for people who only buy the special edition year review Time magazine, because I'm one of those people, right? I'm one of those people. I don't ever buy magazines, right? But every once in a while, I will buy a magazine when it's a special edition, like the year in review. And there are a lot of people who buy the special Time edition year in review because it takes you back down memory lane about all the special events that happen during the year. Okay, so there are a lot of people who are reading this article who are like, my God. Okay, so again, Meghan sent emails to the Human Resources Department. There are emails, people. There are emails to the Human Resources Department where she's begging for help. And she was told by the human resources person in an email that they could not get her help because she was a senior royal member and not considered an employee. She was not considered an employee because she was a senior royal member. There are emails. Okay. We do. We need to form an investigative team, people. We need to form an investigative team. We really, really do. There were emails that Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, sent to the Human Resources Department. What did her friend say? Didn't her friend say that she's got emails to back up everything that she said? Didn't she say that? Right? What's her pretty friend? I don't want to mess up her name because I'm always messing up people's name. Okay, not Priyanka, but the other uh, Indian actress, beautiful, right? She said that Meghan Markle has emails to back up everything that she said. Well, guess what? The special Time edition year in review validates that, right? They validate that. She emailed somebody in the human resources department begging for help. And she was told, no, we can't do that because senior royal members are not considered employees of the institution. Okay. So this is twofold, people. It's twofold. Let me take a drink because I'm starting to get hyped up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you who are just joining us in late night sexist talk with Special K Thoughts, we are focusing right now on the special Time edition, the year in review. And one of the features is our faves, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan. Okay. And like I said, this article, there's no frills, there's no shoes in this article. Okay. It's a very short article. Um, it's an objective article. There's no slide or rude comments in this article. They're just straightforward to the point. And basically, what this article does is that to me, it makes the royal family look like a bunch of racist assholes. That's why I'm talking about this article. Okay. Um, and for the simple fact that the Time magazine felt that it was important enough to point out that Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, faced a lot of racism and she was neglected and not supported by the royal family. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that these writers who wrote this article agree with that, but it doesn't appear to me that they disagree with it either, especially when these writers say in their own words that the British media was blatantly racist towards Meghan and they were rabid towards the coverage of her. That's what those words say in this article. That's what these writers say. Those are the type of descriptive words that they use. Blatantly racist. They were rabid. RABID. They were rabid in their coverage of Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Okay? Again, we do. We need to form an investigative team and we need to find out who was this senior royal that Meghan went to and begged for help while she was pregnant. Who was this person? Who was this jackass? Who was this asshole? Okay. It, back to what I was saying earlier before I took my drink. Okay. And I just took another one. And I'm about to take another one. Let's see. Back to what I was saying about these rural reporters, these rural fan fiction rodents, and all these people who write these rural biographies and these rural books. It's amazing to me that nobody has tried to pursue in that world who was the senior royal that Meghan went to and asked for help and she was told no. Don't you find that just peculiar? Don't you find that odd? Isn't that strange that they wouldn't want to find out who that person was? Or perhaps they do know who that person is and they don't want to reveal that person? Where is the demand to find out who that person was? Wouldn't you want to know if there was such a person? Okay? Because if there wasn't such a person, then they would be calling Meghan a liar, saying that Meghan was lying about going to somebody to get help. For some reason, that part of the story they don't focus on. You notice they only focus on the racist part. They only focus on, Meghan was accusing everybody. I'm talking fast. That Meghan was accusing the royal family of being racist. Well, number one, she never called anybody a racist, right? She never said that anybody was a racist, right? She basically just said that there were concerns and conversations about how dark Archie's skin would be. And those concerns and conversations happened around the time that she was pregnant. And those concerns and conversations also involved Archie's not getting a title, Archie's not getting security. Okay? That's what she said. Everybody else made their own conclusions that, oh, damn, the royal family, they racist, which we all know is the right conclusion. Okay. See, they want to focus on that. But you notice they never really focus. Well, I should say never really focus, but they rarely focus on, well, who did Meghan go to ask to get mental health treatment? Who was that senior role that she went to? Who was that person? Isn't it amazing to you that broke busted Becky doesn't have an exclusive? She doesn't have an 18-page exclusive in regards to who that senior royal was. Okay? I mean, like seriously. Isn't it funny to you That she doesn't have like an 18-page exclusive saying who that person was, naming that person, right? Isn't it interesting how these emails have never been leaked, but yet Knopf, he got emails coming out of his ass that he could present to the court in regards to Meghan's lawsuit against the Mail on Sunday, right? I mean, he got emails coming out of his ass, coming out of his mouth, coming out of both of his ears, right? But nobody can produce the emails that Meghan sent to human resources asking for help in regards to, her suicidal thoughts, and she wanted mental health treatment, and she wanted to seek help outside of the institution. She wanted to go somewhere, right? Like somebody said, we need an investigative team. All right, what's going on in the chat? Because I am just talking and talking. But that whole situation, it's not going away, people. Because when you have magazines like Time, who are still writing articles about that Oprah Winfrey interview, it's not going away. Okay? It's not going away. The royal family's face has been ripped off. I mean, just ripped off. Bam! Ripped off. Okay? They're a bunch of fakes. They're a bunch of phonies. They're not the real deal. They don't have rules and values. Okay? I meant to say morals and values. Clarity. Okay, let me see what's going on in the chat. Okay, we have 207 people in the chat. Special K, my answer is the royal family is worth. Mafia had consideration for children and women. Exactly. How does the mafia get down? Okay, how does the mafia get down? You don't mess with the children and the women, right? You don't do that. Even in some gang culture, okay, you don't mess with the women and children. When I was living in California, I'm veering off to the left here, but when I was living in Cali, um, there was a story about a gang, right? It was a Mexican gang, and one of the homies that was being initiated into this gang, you know, his initiation was that he had to go kill some dude, right? And he did a drive-by. The guy that he was supposed to kill wasn't home, but the guy's 3-year-old daughter was home. And they did a drive-by on the house, and the 3-year-old daughter was killed. Okay. You know what that gang did? They ended up killing the guy that was going to be initiating the gang. They killed him because he killed the 3-year-old. And I'm not trying to say that there's any type of honor in that, because that's just some jacked up crap altogether. But what I'm saying is, you know, who's worse, the royal family or the mafia? All right. Let me check out more comments. Let's see. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Let's see. Where is Sarah Latham? That's a good question. Where is she? Okay. And Sarah Latham, she was what? Supposed to be the trusted secretary, right? She's supposed to be the trusted secretary. Like, where is she? Who knows? Right? Who knows? But wasn't she part of the fabulous gang of four that was willing to testify, if I'm not mistaken? Okay. And we will go on later on in the chat and talk about this quote unquote sham of an investigation in regards to the bullying allegations. Um, we'll talk about that a little later on in the chat. Let's see. That's right. The Duchess, she has proof. Okay. She has proof. And they know it. But one day, someday, soon, them emails are going to come out. They are going to come out. All right. Is Sarah working for the Queen now? Yeah, she's working for the Queen because she knows where the dead bodies are buried. Okay? She knows where the dead bodies are buried. That's why she's working for the Queen. All right, back to this special time edition, the year in review. Another thing that they pointed out is how Harry talked about his frustration from the lack of support from his family. Okay. Beginning quote: For us, for this union, and the Pacifics around her race, there was an opportunity, many opportunities for my family to show some public support, he said. Yet no one from my family ever said anything, and that hurts. All right. Remember that? And I think we talked about that last week, right? Where Prince Harry said that, it hurt him. It truly hurt him to the core that nobody in his family, you know, said anything. They were all silent. They all got lockjaw, right? When it came to supporting Meghan and Harry. When they were getting, they were just getting sprayed. I mean, bullets sprayed every day in the British press um, about them. It was nothing but negativity. Everything was negative. Everything that they did was negative. And the racial undertones and all those articles that were being written, like Prince Harry said, there were plenty of opportunities for his family to show some public support. Number one, just imagine how tables might have turned if Prince Charles had slammed the article of Archie being compared to a chimpanzee. Imagine that. Imagine if, he showed some balls and said, "This is absolutely unacceptable." Right? Just imagine. Just imagine how the tables might have turned if corrupt Chuck had said something about that. But I wanted to point something out when it comes to support. Like we've said before on this live podcast, Prince Harry has said many, many, many times how he loves his brother. I love my brother, right? He's said it many times. Okay. But I wanted to point out um, a time where Prince Harry supported Mumbelina. Those of you in the chat right now, do you remember the time when Prince Harry supported Mumbelina? Remember that? Remember when he supported Mumbelina? He's probably done it a few times, but I'm only going to talk about the one time that he supported Mumbelina. Okay? I mean, there's been a few times where he's had her back. Okay? But has Mumbelina ever had Meghan's back? Has William ever had Meghan's back? Think about it. Okay? April May says that she remembers. Remember when Prince Harry had Mumbelina's back? Okay? He's defended Mumbelina in the past. Okay? He did it during an interview when Mumbelina was pregnant with Prince George. All right? I think he was in the military when he defended Mumbles. All right? Prince Harry said that he was very happy for Will Not and Mummelina. Has anybody ever heard William or Mummelina say that they were very, very happy and excited for Harry and Meghan when Meghan was pregnant? Did I miss that? Did I miss that memo? Is there a video of Mummelina or Will Not saying that they're very happy and they're very excited that Meghan is pregnant? Is there a video out there like that? We all know there isn't. Okay. But back to what I was saying. Harry has defended Mummelina. He did it while she was pregnant. Okay. This boy in the military serving in Afghanistan defending his sister-in-law. Okay. And I quote, beginning quote from Prince Harry, I hope she has the necessary protection to allow her as a mother to be able to enjoy the privacy that comes with. I seriously hope that this is going to happen. Okay? He's talking about Kate. He's defending Kate. She was pregnant with Prince George. He's thinking about Kate while he's serving it in Afghanistan, hoping that she's okay, hoping that she gets the privacy that she deserves while she's pregnant. Okay? This man over here serving his country in Afghanistan could get shot or killed. Okay, but he's got Kate on his mind, hoping that she's okay. Right? I mean that is a man of character. Okay, that Prince Harry is a good guy. I mean, he's a good guy, damn it. But seriously though, have you ever seen Will Not and Mummelina, express that type of attitude towards Meghan while she was pregnant? I mean, seriously, it almost seemed like they didn't care that she was pregnant, right? It's like they didn't care. It's like they didn't give a shit, right? They were a reflection of how the institution felt when Meghan was pregnant. Okay. And you will never, ever in your life, ever convince me that Will Not and Mummelina had no idea that Meghan was struggling mentally. Never convince me of that. Okay. They knew because if they didn't know, that just goes to show you, right, how much they were not in communication with Meghan and Harry. Like, why would you be so estranged from your pregnant sister-in-law when all of you guys are working royals and you guys live right down the street from each other? Why would you be so estranged from your brother-in-law and your sister-in-law? Like why? Okay. Like that is crazy. They knew she was struggling mentally. They knew she I don't know if they knew she had suicidal thoughts, but they knew that she was not happy and they knew that she was struggling and they knew that she was pregnant. Okay. They knew that she had left her home country and she was in another country and that she didn't have none of her friends with her. Right. What type of behavior? I mean, that's the type of character and the type of behavior you want your future king and your future queen. What's it? Queen consort, whatever it's called, consort. That's the type of character you want those people to have. If you could be so cold to your own pregnant sister-in-law who's never done nothing to you except marry your husband's brother, if you can be that cold and uncaring to her, then what in the hell makes you think she gives a fuck about the people of the United Kingdom? Like seriously. What makes you think she cares about the people of the United Kingdom? If she don't care about her own pregnant sister-in-law who's never done a damn thing to her, what makes you think that she cares about the people of the United Kingdom? She don't give a damn about those people, about people in the United Kingdom. Ain't no way. Okay? There's no way. Especially people of color, black people. I don't see it. What do you guys think in the chat? I don't see it. I don't. Okay. All Kate's main goal was to marry William, and that's all she cares about. Okay. And right now, her main goal is basically to keep her marriage. What's going on in the chat? Lurch said he already had a nephew. Yeah, I remember that. And remember when he was asked that question, how do you feel about whatever they asked him? And he put his hands, I think, on his scarf, right? And he was playing with his scarf, right? I mean, the body language was telling, okay? Like he tensed up. To me, he tensed up when he was asked about his future nephew or, coming. Wait a minute. I think Archie was already born, right? Was Archie already born when he was asked that question? I think Archie was already born when he asked that question. When I'm sorry, when one of those royal reporters asked him that question. I think Archie was already born and he said, I already have a nephew. Okay. So when he was asked that question, he put his hands like on his collar or on his scarf, right? And he seemed like he tensed up. Okay. He seemed like he tensed up, like, I really honestly don't give a shit about him. I already have a nephew. You know, that's the way he appeared to me. And I thought, oh boy, he can't even hide his disdain for his own nephew. Right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jermaine. Yeah. Archie was already born. So he was asked about Archie. He put his hands on his collar, on his scarf, and was like, I already have a nephew. Okay, like bitch, I don't care about Archie. I already got a nephew. All right. That's a telling interview. Well, it wasn't an interview, but you guys know what I'm saying. All right. They got all these body language experts in regards to Meghan and da 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 da. Okay. But I'm telling you, when you watch that scene, when you watch that, it's like, it's so telling. It's like, wow, he really honestly didn't give a shit about Archie. He seemed like he was mad. I already have a nephew. He put his hand on his collar or on his scarf. His hands were tense, like, oh, I already have a nephew. Okay. He couldn't even fake it. He couldn't fake it. He couldn't be like, oh, wow. Yeah. You know, I have another nephew. That's a blessing. And I can't wait to meet him. He couldn't even, he couldn't even do that. Right. I mean, boy, like I said, I can go on and on and on and on. But this special time edition, the year in review, again, I thought this was a good article. Um, like I said, I read it twice. It's a very short article. It's one page. Another thing I want to point out that the writers of this article pointed out, and I quote, time and again in the interview, the prince brought up his wife's race when asked about Meghan's treatment by the palace, by his family and the press. For the family, they very much have this mentality. This is just how it is. You can't change it. We've all been through it, he said. But what was different for me was the race element. It wasn't just about her, it was about what she represents. Bam. I mean, that says a lot, folks. That says a lot. It wasn't just about her, it was about what she represents. And what does Meghan Markle, Meghan Raglan, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex represent? Okay. American, biracial with African ancestry. Okay. That's what she represents. That's not all of what she represents because she's an independent woman, she's a feminist, she's educated, um, she fights for social injustice, she fights for gender equality. It's all of that, right? But it mainly was the fact that she was a biracial American with African ancestry. And Prince Harry knew that. He knew that. And he was able to key in on that. You can't tell me that Prince Harry doesn't lay in his bed at night sometimes and think to himself, my God, is my family really racist? I wonder if Prince Harry has conversations with himself about that. I wonder if he has conversations with Meghan about that. I don't know. We don't know Prince Harry and we don't know Meghan. We don't. But you can't help but wonder if he has those conversations with himself about his family. Are they racist? You know? Because they are. They are. I mean, come on, let's keep it real. You can't tell me that okay, let's say okay, Megan is American. Well, she is American. But let's say if Prince Harry married an American, right? He married an American, but this American was blonde-headed, blue-eyed, straight European. Okay. Do we honestly think that this wife would be going through the exact same things that Megan went through? Okay. And I'm saying that this person did the exact same things that Megan did. Okay. If Harry married an American that was blonde headed, blue eyed, was a feminist, uh, fought social injustice, uh, campaigned for, women's rights, women's equality, gender equality, um, was involved in politics, exact same, but she was a blonde-headed, blue-eyed, white woman. Okay. Do you honestly think this person would have gone through the same things that Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, went through? Like, seriously. Let's keep it real. Let's call a thing, people. Right? Of course not. Hell no. Okay? Of course not. When you take the race out of it, and if Harry's wife was an American, if she was blonde headed, blue eyed, and she was a feminist, and she believed in fighting social injustice, just let's just say that she was a Megan that was a white girl. Okay. Do you honestly think that she would have gone through the same things that Megan went through? As a matter of fact, Prince Harry would still be in the royal family. Okay. He would still be in the royal family if he had married an American white woman that appeared to have liberal views. Okay. If Prince Harry married an American white woman that had liberal views, liberal leaning views, he would still be in the royal family. Point blank period. He would still be in the royal family. Let's call a thing, people. For those of you who have just joined us, welcome, welcome, welcome. Black Queen, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But no, we all know that. Come on now. If Megan was a blonde headed, blue eyed Amy Okay. We're not going to say Karen. We'll say Amy. If Meghan was a blonde headed, blue eyed Amy that had liberal leaning views, there's no way in the world that you can convince me that she would have faced the same amount of scrutiny, the same amount of attacks, brutal attacks, dehumanizing attacks, crucifying, vilifying attacks. There's no way. I don't believe it. If Meghan was a blonde-headed, blue-eyed American, okay, that had still had liberal leaning views, no way. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. All right. So how you guys doing? It's Friday. You guys ready for the weekend? You guys ready for Christmas? I know I'm ready for the weekend. I know I'm ready for Christmas. I am ready for this year to be over. Let's see. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Let's see. Let's see. You know, somebody was talking about James O'Brien in the chat. You know, it's hard for me to listen to his radio show. I have to catch it on YouTube. But boy, he really knows how to break it down when it comes to, the British media's hatred of Harry and Meghan. I mean, he really breaks it down, doesn't he? I mean, he's really, really good at it. He makes some members of the British media look like dumbasses. you know, when he breaks it down, and he's so analytical with it in a humorous way. You know, he really, really is. I like listening to his show when I can catch it. All right, we have 255 in the chat. So those of you who just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. So those of you who haven't gotten it, I advise you to buy the special time edition, the year in review. And the reason why I spent so much time on it, because I know a lot of the information that I was talking about is stuff that the Success Squad is already well aware of. I mean, we're well aware of it. But for the special edition of the Time year in review, to write another article about that Oprah Winfrey interview and to highlight what Prince Harry and Meghan said in regards to the reasons why they left being working royals because of racism and neglect. That's huge, people. That's huge for Time magazine to highlight that, to showcase that, to write another article about that. That is huge. Okay. There are a lot of people in the United States and across the world, internationally, that buy the special Time edition year in review. Okay. And the reason why there are a lot of people in the United States and all across the world globally is because they feature different stories globally across the world. It's not just American stories. Okay. There are international stories that they feature. I mean, it's primarily American, all right? But American news is international news. Okay? I mean, there are a lot of stories in here, but to feature the Duke and Duchess about why they left the royal family and the reasons why they left the royal family was mainly because of racism and neglect. Okay? Think about it. You had a family member who was working as a senior royal that was pregnant with Prince Charles's grandchild, the future king's grandchild. And she was having suicidal thoughts. She needed mental health treatment, and she was told no, you can't get it because it would make the institution look bad. But yet you have the royal family parading around the world like they are the best family in the world, and they are a very loving, nurturing family, and they have morals and values. But yet nobody in that family gave a shit about the future king's son's wife who was pregnant at the time, that was experiencing suicidal thoughts and was having mental health pain while she was pregnant with an unborn innocent child. But yet you have your queen giving Christmas addresses like she really cares about people having a lovely Christmas, right? You got a future when he's asked about his only brother's child. He says, I already got a nephew. I already got a nephew. Okay. TCC Son, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate you. They just get on my nerves sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They just really get on my nerves, and they need to be called out on their bullshit. And I'm happy that the special time edition basically called they asses out with this article. And like I was saying, thousands of people in the United States and all across the globe read this article. Okay. And that's why I wanted to highlight this article tonight. All right, we got 260 in the chat. I'm getting ready to move on. And what we're going to do now is we are going to talk about Prince Harry again. Yay! Now, news came out that Prince Harry, the people's prince, the global prince, the favorite prince, he wrote an emotional letter to his fallen comrade's parents. Many people know about this letter in the Sexo Squad, and there are others who don't know about this letter in the Sexo Squad. Um, but I came across this story from another fellow squatty, and I thought it was a good story, um, because it shows Prince Harry's heart, right, and it showcases his character, right. So Derek and Maria Hunt, they are the parents of Nathan Hunt, who served with Prince Harry in Afghanistan on or around 2008. But unfortunately, he took his own life in 2018 after suffering from severe mental health problems. And it's thought to be that his severe mental health problems were linked to his military service. Okay, and that's sad. That's pretty sad. There are a lot of veterans that do have mental health issues. They have PTSD, and there's a lot of suicide in the veteran community, and that's all across the globe. Okay, so
The Hunts, they wrote a letter to Prince Harry last month explaining that the Ministry of Defense had twice refused to add their son's name to a memorial despite, his record of bravery. So, um, Prince Harry wrote them a letter back, and he was saying that it was unfortunate he couldn't help them because he was no longer in that role. He's no longer, he no longer has his military titles, and he was no longer in that role to where he can help, right? But in the letter, he went on to describe his fellow uh, veteran that he served with, and he described how Nathan Hunt was an honorable man, and that they served together in Afghanistan. And Harry, he wrote this emotional letter reaching out to the family, and describing the type of character that their son had. And you could tell that it was a really heartfelt letter. And what I want us to focus on is what Prince Harry said. Okay. I don't really want to focus too much on the parents um, of his fallen comrade. I really want to focus more so on Prince Harry's, you know, letter, because at the end of the day, it came from his heart, and he didn't have to write these people back, right? Right, but he did, and for whatever reasons, I'm thinking these people reached out to him because Prince Harry served with their son, so they probably thought that he had some pull, right? But Prince Harry was saying he's no longer in that role. However, your son was an honorable man, and he served his country well, and this, that, and the other. So again, I just want us to focus on the people's prince, right? Prince Harry. Um, it just goes to show that he's still fighting for veterans all across the globe, right? It's like last week we talked on the podcast about how he co-signed on veterans that have served. Actually, it's foreign-born veterans that have served, right, in the British military. How they shouldn't have to pay fees to stay in the United Kingdom, right? And with this particular situation, he couldn't help because he's no longer in that role in regards to his military titles that were taken away from him by the royal family. Okay. But he still wrote a letter to the parents. He still reached out to these parents and described how much of a wonderful human being their son was. And, again, it just goes to Prince Harry's character. It goes to how much of a heart that he has, and how much no matter what, he's still going, right, to fight for the veteran community. So I thought that was a good story. I wouldn't click the story because of the because of the paper that it was written in, but somebody had screenshotted it to me, and I had read it, and I thought, okay, Prince Harry, that guy is a good guy, okay. And what Megan sees in him is what we all see in him, right? That's what we all see in him. He's just a good guy with good morals, good character, who has a big heart. He is his mother's son. Right? Isn't Prince Harry his mother's son? I mean, he wears his mother's heart on his sleeve. So it's like you have to give a big ups to Prince Harry. He's just an outstanding guy. Okay. But I wanted to read an excerpt from the letter that Prince Harry read, you know, and beginning quote, I deeply empathize with what your family is going through, and so wish I could assist formally had I been in the same role I once was. Okay. And that's his heart speaking. That he wish that he can help, but he can't because he's not in the same role that he once was in regards to the royal family. Another quote: grief can be a long and burdensome road. Please know you and your family remain in my thoughts. Okay. Again, he's just an outstanding guy. He really is. All right. 271 in the chat. It'd be great if we can get to 300. Don't forget to hit the like button. Everybody that's in the chat, hit the like button, please. All right. Now, we're going to get into some bullshit. I didn't really want to talk about this story, but I'm going to talk about this story because, it's Friday. It's the weekend, baby. It's a live podcast. So why not? Why not talk about some bullshit, right? Remember last week, this time in this podcast, Ty Fletcher, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Are you ready? You ready? Remember last week in this live podcast, late night sexist talk with Special K Thoughts. Remember all the drip, 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 drip stories that were coming out? Prince Charles's anonymous friends was falling from the sky. They was jumping out of trees, right? About how Prince Harry, how Prince Charles was so distraught and he was so sad because he hadn't spoke to Prince Harry in 8 months and he hadn't seen his grandchildren. Right? Remember all that? Remember that bullshit? Remember that? All because Prince Harry released a statement telling the truth. That he warned about the donor, about taking money from the donor because Prince Harry sensed that the guy, that the guy was up to no good, right? Remember that? And they were saying that with Prince Harry releasing that statement that he threw, Daddy Charles underneath the bus, yada yada yada, and then Prince Charles was saying, well, his friends were saying that Prince Charles was just so hurt that Harry threw him underneath the bus, and that Prince Charles hadn't spoken to Harry in 8 months, and he hadn't seen his grandchildren. Remember all that, right? Remember all that? Well, I came across some bullshit, and I mean when I when I read this, I mean I was laughing so hard. I said, "These people are fucking stupid." But anyway, well, okay, here we go. There is another royal class ass clown. Okay. First of all, how many freaking royal reporters are there? How many royal experts are there? It's like, God, Lee. Like, how many of them fools are out there? That's like, that's, I mean, they remind me of roaches for real. I mean, they're like everywhere. They scatter everywhere, and there's not enough spray to get rid of them. There just isn't. But anyway, another rural fan fiction reporter or expert, whatever, clown ass clown, reported to US Weekly, another trash bucket tabloid. This is a trash bucket American tabloid. They're straight trash. I can't stand US Weekly. Okay? They're just trash. When did US Weekly become so trashy? Okay. I can't stand them. But anyway, another rural clan ass clown reported to the US Weekly that, oh, no, 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 no. Corrupt Chuck and Prince Harry, they're actually speaking. And they have absolutely made improvements in their relationship. And they speak to each other. Okay. And they've made small strides in their relationship. I mean, they have a long way to go, but they've made small strides in their relationship. Ooh. It's like, really? Huh. I, whatever you say. So, according to Stuart Pierce, all right, and of course, he's writing a book, or he wrote a book about Princess Diana, the voice of change. Can they leave Princess Diana the hell alone? Can Princess Diana rest in peace, please? Can she rest in peace? Can Princess Diana rest in peace? Peace for Princess Diana. How many freaking books are you going to write about Princess Diana? Okay? But yet, when Prince Harry talks about his mom, oh, Prince Harry, he's exploiting his mother. But yet, you got royal rodent biographers that write books about Princess Diana every freaking year. There's got to be at least 10 books that come out about Princess Diana. Can Princess Diana rest in peace? Can they leave her alone? Damn it. All right. Stuart Pierce, who wrote a book, Diana, the Voice of Change. All right. He says that the father and son duo, they have learned to express themselves more clearly. Really, Stewie? Stewie, you was there? You was there when Prince Harry and Corrupt Chuck were having these conversations? Really? Not only are you a royal rodent and a royal bullshit ass biographer, but you're a therapist too? You're just a jack of all trades, right? No, you're a jackass. But anyway. So he says that the father and son duo have learned to express themselves more clearly. It's just their style of managing that level of emotional intensity. It's their style of managing that level of emotional intensity is completely different. Really, Stewie? Stewie? Like, really? He goes on to say that Prince Charles is by nature a very shy man and likes to be by himself. Actually, you know what? I think that might be true. It doesn't mean he is uncaring, and he just finds demonstration of emotional display to be really difficult. Prince Charles closes down more easily. And he says, while Harry is often more forthcoming with his feelings. So, according to Stewie, Charles and Harry are in communication. There's still a lot of issues that those two need to work out, but hey, they speak to each other. They speak to each other. Really. Bull shit. Bull shit. How in the hell does this man know that Prince Charles and Prince Harry, corrupt Chuck and Prince Harry speak to each other. Just like how do people know that they don't speak to each other? Okay. They don't know shit, but they come on TV or they write articles acting like they know what's going on between those two. They don't know a damn thing. Okay. But I just thought it was interesting that a week ago, Prince Charles hadn't spoken to Prince Harry in 8 months. But now this week, oh no, those two talk. They've made strides in their relationship. There's still a long way to go, but they talk. They talk. They're on the amends. They're good. Yeah, right. I agree. I call BS on that. I really do. It's like they can't pick a lane. They can't. They can't pick a lane and stay in that lane. Okay. They can't pick a lane and stay in that lane. And it's just past ridiculous. But ouch. What's going on in the chat? So Tina Brown is coming out with the book. I mean, there's gonna be all kinds of books coming out because I heard that there was another book that was coming out um in regards to Meghan. And they're trying to say that Meghan is so scared that this book is coming out, and we all know Meghan don't give two FFs about no book that's coming out about her. Like, I truly believe that she does not care. Okay, like she really honestly doesn't care. But I think it's just a circle. That's what they do. It's like they write articles and they write books, and that's how they make their bread and butter. They make the royal family is a money making machine. Okay. And they have a lot of parasites on them. A lot of these fiction reporters, they're parasites. A lot of these royal biographers, they're parasites. They're parasites on the royal family. They really, really are. It's like it makes no sense. Like again, how many books are you going to write about Princess Diana? That's just crazy. How many books are you going to write about Queen Elizabeth? Like really? How many books can you write about Queen Elizabeth's cousin? Right? Like really? They're either writing books or they're reporting fake news, right? Or they're creating news about them that's not true, right? Now, Prince Harry and Meghan, they've been pretty quiet this past week, right? They've been pretty quiet. So, they're still up in the news. Like Prince Harry's letter, right? We didn't really need to know about that letter that he wrote to Nathan Hunt's parents. We didn't need to know about that, right? That was between Prince Harry and Nathan Hunt's parents. We didn't need to know about that. Okay, the reason why I talked about it is because it's something positive, you know. But anyway, 285 in the chat. It would be great if we can get to 300 before we close this live podcast out. Um I guess we can talk a little bit about um there was a story that came out about you know I guess they're kind of scared. I don't know if they're scared. I wasn't too sure what the angle of the story was, but a story came out that, only a few people have been interviewed about the bullying allegations in regards to Meghan. And look, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm gonna tell you something right now. The royal family put their foot in their freaking mouths when they released that statement saying that they were investigating those allegations. They set themselves up. They set themselves up because at the end of the day, there's nothing to investigate. Okay? Is there anybody in the chat who can let me know Were there actual complaints filed? Okay. Were there actual complaints filed, or was it just an email that Knopf sent? I really honestly don't think that there were actual complaints filed with human resources. Okay. I just don't. So I think that the royal family messed up saying that they were going to do an investigation about these bullying allegations. And the reason why they've only interviewed a handful of people is because there's only a handful of people for them to interview. There's only a handful of people for them to interview. Okay. And those people are probably saying, hey, we never filed a complaint. Okay. And they're scared of Megan's attorneys. That's a serious thing when you accuse somebody of bullying you in the workforce. You better come with it. You better come with the stuff. Okay? Because those are defamatory allegations. And those allegations have hurt Megan's character. They have. So the reason why it's taking them so long is because there's nothing there. And they don't know how they're going to be able to spin their way out of this. That's what I think. They don't know how they're going to be able to spin those their way out of it, you know. But again, my question is, were there actual complaints that were filed with human resources? Were there? I don't think there was. I think it was just an email that Knopf sent out. Okay. Yes, they know a lawsuit is brewing. I think they scared. I think they scared. Okay. It's like you can't. Well, you can, but you're taking a chance when you do that. Say that, there are all these bullying allegations and this, that, and the other, and say that you're launching an investigation when there was really no formal complaint filed. Okay. Was there a formal complaint filed? I don't think there was. All right. Now, there was a story that Megan demanded. She demanded all of the emails and all of the evidence from the institution that stated that she was bullying people. She wanted all of the emails and any evidence that showed examples of her bullying people. Remember that story? Right? And they said that they were going to hand that over to Corrupt Chuck. And Corrupt Chuck was like, oh no, I'm not touching that. And they decided to hire an outside legal agency to deal with it. Okay, first of all, the royal family of the institution, the monarchy is an institution. Okay. The institution is a place of business. The institution has a human resources department. Why in the hell does an outside legal agency have to conduct an investigation on bullying? That is human resources responsibility. That is their department. They act like people are fool and that people was just born yesterday. Okay? Nah, 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 nah. So it's a sham to begin with. All right, that's a sham. Never heard of a institution, an agency having a legal department outside uh, of that institution handling bullying investigations. Okay, that makes absolutely no sense. And then you're going to have an investigation and not speak to the accused. Like I said, they think people are fool. They think people were born yesterday. Right? That makes absolutely no sense. So all of this that that it's getting kicked down, there's fear that it's getting kicked down the road or it's getting kicked in the long grass, whatever that story was. Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. Because they messed up by saying that they were launching an investigation, right? They messed up. It's like you got to handle shit right when it comes to business and when it comes to people's character. You need to make sure that you're on your P's and Q's. Okay. Absolutely. It's true. It's sad when even your own HR department won't take your bogus bullying claims. And I think that's what happened. I think the human resources department was like, shit, we're not doing no investigation because there's nothing to investigate. The HR department is like, hey, dumbasses, did y'all forget that Megan sent us a whole bunch of emails begging for help because she was suicidal and we told her we couldn't help her? But yet we're going to investigate her for bullying allegations. They're probably like, get the fuck out of my face. Okay? Come on. A lot of us, all of us are grown in this chat. Many of us have professional jobs. We all know that if somebody's being bullied, you have to go through the proper channels. And the proper channel is that a complaint needs to be filed. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but all those text messages that Knopf had with Meghan that he presented to the court. How come in none of those text messages he never brought up to her that, hey, Meghan, I do kind of have a concern about your interaction with some certain staff. Me and you need to talk about that. How come did anybody ever have a conversation with Meghan saying, hey, we kind of have a concern about how you deal with staff and that you know, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about your approach with staff. Did anybody ever have that conversation with Meghan? Right? Of course not. Of course they didn't have that conversation with Meghan. Okay. All right. Moving on. Came across some great news today on a positive note. It was reported that Meghan was actually seen shopping in Montecito today. Isn't that lovely? I am so happy that Harry and Meghan are settling down in Montecito and they're enjoying life. Okay? They are enjoying life. They are enjoying life. And the people in Montecito appear to be leaving them alone and letting them live their life. Isn't that a beautiful thing? I mean, seriously, isn't that a beautiful thing? They could kind of sort of be a normal family in Montecito and enjoy life. And I'm hearing because I do have a lot of contacts and I do have enough family that lives in California. I have some family that lives in shoot, they don't live in Montecito. Shit. But I do have some family that lives in the Culver City area and the Santa Monica area. And I do know some people who, I know somebody who's a real estate agent and the type of clientele that they deal with, only like they sell houses to millionaires. And you know how people like to bullshit and say, hey, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, right? But anyway, what I'm trying to get to is that some of the things that I've heard about the people of Montecito is that they really are welcoming of Harry and Meghan, and they really do want those two and their children to have privacy within their own community. That the Montecito community is protective of those two, and that, you know, the stories that they shoo paparazzi away, and that, when Megan is out and about, that people let her do her thing, and that the people in the stores, the employees in the stores, don't really report where she shops at. Um, and I don't know whether to believe this person or not, but that I've heard that paparazzi has plenty of pictures of Megan with Archie, and they are too scared to release them. They're too scared to release them because they're scared that they might get sued, and they don't want to blow up their spot. So I don't know if that stuff is true. I really honestly don't. But to be honest, it's hard for me to believe that paparazzi doesn't have pictures of Meghan, Harry, out and about with Archie. That's just that's just hard for me to believe that they don't have a whole bunch, right? Now, my understanding is that there was a picture I think that was published today, but it's just hard for me to believe that they don't have a whole bunch, if you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I think it's great that news came out that she was out and about shopping. And also there was news that I think that Montecito, like they had a Christmas parade or something, and Harry and Meghan were one of the first people to donate to that Christmas parade. So again, I think it's great that they're really starting to live their lives. I'm just hoping and praying that they're able to breathe, right? That they're able to breathe, let their shoulders down a little bit, right? Um, that they're able to enjoy the California life, right? And Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. Christmas is here. And Archie's what, two and a half? I'm pretty sure he's enjoying the Christmas lights, and I'm pretty sure that they have a big old Christmas tree in the house. And I just pray and hope that those two are able to breathe a little bit, and they're able to put their shoulders down a little bit, and they're able to just enjoy life. You know, I hope that as each day goes by, there's less drama, right? That as each day goes by, that there's less drama in their lives. That's what we all want for them. That's what we all want for our faves. And eventually, right? What was I getting ready to say? I lost my train of thought. But eventually, right? A lot of that drama that comes from the island, in my opinion, will eventually fade off. And why do I feel that way? I feel that way because I'm telling you, when Queen Elizabeth goes on to glory, that monarchy is in trouble. Excuse me. I'm over here burping on a live podcast. But that monarchy is in trouble. All right, we got 305 in the podcast. Welcome. Even though I'm about to end this podcast, but welcome. Okay, when Queen Elizabeth goes on to glory, oh my God, that monarchy is in trouble. It's in trouble now. It's in trouble now. Yeah, I'm seeing in the chat that there's pictures. Um, I mean, I'm not going to say anything about the pictures. Uh, but yeah, I'm sure a lot of the squatties have seen the pictures. I know I have, and um, I mean, it is what it is with those two. You know what I'm saying? And paparazzi, paparazzi, paparazzi. You know, they dying to see baby Lily. So I mean, sooner or later, you know, there's gonna be a picture in regards to baby Lily, and I just hope and pray that Harry and Meghan are the ones to release the picture first. That's all I would say about that. But what was I saying? Oh, um, when Queen Elizabeth goes on to glory, like that monarchy is in trouble. I think the monarchy has lasted so long because out of respect for Queen Elizabeth, but they don't have respect for Prince Charles. And William, he wants the power, but he's too lazy. And William got a lot of skeletons in his closet. And I'm sorry, but Prince George to me, I mean, he's just a kid, but he don't look like he about that life. Now Princess Charlotte looks like she might be, but Prince George, he don't look like he about that life. But anyway, back to Harry and Meghan. I'm happy to hear that they're involved with the Montecito community and that Meghan is out and about. There's been stories already about her being out and about, and people that have seen her kind of keep it quiet. But I mean, I think it's great, and I'm glad that they're able to breathe. I'm glad they're able to, kind of rest their shoulders a little bit. I'm glad that they have support um, from different people, and it's just a beautiful thing to see. And we have other stuff to look forward to. I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait till Harry's memoirs. Oh my God. Who is ready for his memoirs? Prince Harry, his memoirs. Who is ready for that? I absolutely agree. I am so glad Harry and Meghan are doing very well. They are living their best lives. Happiness is very important in life, and they're happy. Bravo. We rejoice with them. I can't wait. Oh my God. And to be honest, I don't think his memoirs is going to focus so much on Prince Charles. I don't. They're thinking that he's going to trash Prince Charles and all that. I don't think Harry is really going to focus that much on Prince Charles. I don't. I really, really honestly don't. I think he's really going to focus on himself, things that he's gone through. Um, and I think it's going to be more of like a motivating, uplifting book. I really, really do. And I can't wait. Yeah, I think Harry will be respectful. I do. I am ready for his book. I am so ready. There's a lot of things to look forward to when it comes to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. A lot of good things to look forward to. Prince Harry's memoirs, um, Meghan's Netflix show, the animated show about the 12-year-old girl. They're not too sure if it's going to be called Pearl, but it's tentatively titled Pearl, right? I can't wait till that comes out. Prince Harry, he's got his Invictus uh documentary coming out on Netflix. My God, are those two going to do another podcast? Are they going to surprise us with a holiday podcast? I mean, that would be wonderful, right? But there's a lot to look forward to when it comes to those two. And what I really love about Prince Harry and and Meghan is a lot of the stuff that they're involved in really has nothing to do with royal, right? A lot of their haters talk about how they're just living off the royal titles. A lot of the stuff that they involve themselves with has nothing to do with royal. Okay, and that's another thing that the royal family is scared of, right? Yes, that's right. 2022, the Invictus Games. I think they started selling tickets for that, if I'm not mistaken. I wish they would come back to the United States. I missed that in Florida, boy. But there's just a lot to look forward to with those two. Big things coming up with those two. All right. 311 in the chat. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and come to an end to this live podcast. Live, I'm sorry, late night Sussex talk with Special K Thoughts. I appreciate you guys joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I kind of was rambling on and on and on, but it's fun talking with you guys, and it's fun talking about our faves, isn't it? It really, really is. Um, as the Sussex Squad, we have to support. In my opinion, we need to continue to support these two. There is a lot of hateration and just a lot of vile, ugly, evil stuff out there about them, especially on YouTube. There was a time where I was considering not doing any podcast on YouTube, but I had a couple of squatties convince me not to do that. But YouTube has really, really just uh traumatized me with some of the vile stuff that is on YouTube about Harry and Meghan, especially their kids. And sometimes I feel like when I do stuff on YouTube that like, you know, I'm contributing to it. I'm exposing fans to it. But I was advised by some squatties, hey, Special K Thoughts, you need to go ahead and stay on YouTube because, there needs to be positive podcasts about them showcased on YouTube. So that's why I stayed on YouTube because I was just going to dump YouTube and just do stuff on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But we're still here. All right. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And more than likely, we will still have another live podcast on Friday, next Friday. Late night sexist talk with Special K Thoughts. It just depends on if there's any news in regards to our faves, Harry and Meghan. Um, let's see. Yes, YouTube, they do need more positivity. I don't know. The founders of YouTube, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Let's see. Thank you, Reba. Blessings to you too. Blessings to all the squad. I love everybody on Twitter. I love everybody on Instagram. All right. Does anybody have any questions before we sign out? Yes, everybody stay safe, hydrate, stay hydrated. Yes, happy holidays to everybody. A lot of holiday parties today. A lot of holiday parties today, okay? All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and shut this down. Um I don't have a famous Harry and Meghan quote tonight, but I do have a famous a famous Special K thoughts. Quote. So, for the podcast, I will end the podcast with the famous Harry and Meghan quote. But on our live podcast with Late Night Success Talk with Special K Thoughts, I will leave, well, I should say, I will end the podcast with a famous Special K Thoughts quote that is dedicated to all of the squaddies all across the globe. So here we go. Everybody have a blessed night. Good night, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you guys on Twitter. I will see you on Instagram. Please, please, please subscribe. You can become a member. Those of you who are members, thank you, thank you, thank you. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Woo! All right. Here we go. I'm getting ready to end the podcast. And here is our outro. I guess that's what you would say. Here is our outro. Our outro. That makes no sense, Special K. Here we go. All right. Continue to wear the SS on your chest because we the best. All right, squaddies. Good night, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and leave you with some outro music. Again, good night, everybody. And continue to wear the SS on your chest because we are the best. Good night, squaddies.